Talked about it yesterday. Talked about it a little bit today. The LSU running game. What did it look like a year ago? Well, you had some quality backs. You had Caden Durham. You had Josh Williams. But you were wanting a little bit more, and you felt like there was more in there. And I thought the running backs actually did a nice job for what was given to them, what was in front of them. I thought they did a nice job. There was times where they did, like Caden Durham took the South Carolina game over. Like he kind of willed you to victory in that game. I think the running back room, if Caden Durham can stay healthy, is exactly where you want it to be. Now you've got some young players, some very talented players, some very highly rated players behind there. And we've said it before. If there's any position that can translate from high school football to college football and be a quick transition, it is the running back position. The good Lord either made you to run the football or he didn't. He either made you to be able to read a blocking scheme or he didn't. That's just the way I believe it. It's the way I've always believed it. LSU's got a couple of really nice ones. You got Caleb Jackson still there on the squad, as well as a veteran player. We'll see what his development and his growth looks like as well.
I remember, so I went to a training camp practice last year, and I was watching a scrimmage. And I didn't know who it was at the time. I didn't know it was Caleb Jackson running the ball.
You texted me, who's number 28?
I said, who is number 28?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, my God, he nearly killed a guy. He ran somebody over in the open field, and it was a linebacker, too. It wasn't DB. Was it Witt?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Sorry, Witt. Didn't know that was you. Wasn't going to call you out, but, man, he did. He ran him over and was so impressive on that one drive that I went on. And you know, at the time you had mentioned that really talented, got all the skills in the world, kind of struggled with some ball security issues. So I would expect
some vision issues.
And some vision issues, yeah. I would expect that vision is one of those things that you either have it naturally.
Yeah. It's
hard to gain, but you can gain it. Like you can get better at it. But if you don't have it naturally, it's always going to be kind of an uphill battle challenge. And you would know it better than me. You had great vision, and it was just a natural thing for you. But you certainly played with very talented running backs that didn't have that, right?
Yeah, for
but
sure.
You can get it, and you can hit some home runs too with it. If you read it right and you understand, and have to have a really good offensive line coach and a good running back.
Allow what is blocked in front of you to be the starter, right? Because you can't hit the home runs, hit your head on the goalpost like we talk about if you don't respect the blocking scheme. Like that's what gets the play started. Now, once you get to the second level, then your athletic ability can take over. Your dynamic playmaking ability in the open field can take over. But if you try to do that from the get-go, which LSU's had some running backs in the past that have been incredibly talented, but they've done that, that's the one thing that is difficult to go from high school to college, because in high school, you were given the football and you just halfway pressed it and then just bounced it outside and went to the house.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that.
Right.
In this league,
like in high school, you can bounce it outside
and
beat everybody to the edge.
Yes.
But let's also step back and say, let's also not hit our running backs too hard on the vision aspect, because our running game in blocking last year did not create clear reads and clear paths. So it was kind of a challenge. It was a little bit of like a guess, or like, man, nothing's clearing up for me, so I'm just going to have to put my head down and run through the B gap and see what I can get. So we didn't make clear blocking lanes. And so that is one thing that, as LSU fans, we have to hope we're improving at, is not only the way we block things, but schematically. What plays are we calling and what downs? How are we?
They ran inside zone, to your point, 47% of the time.
And when you do that, when you're running too much of one or two certain plays, especially in very specific down and distances, like we were very predictable when it came to the must-need situations. Now, you can get a little creative. It's easier in first and second down when the offense on regular down and distance, regular situations, then you can get a little bit more creative because the defense doesn't really know what's happening. But when push came to shove last year, when we needed a half a yard or we needed 1 yard or whatever it was, third or fourth down, there was not that many plays we were calling.
Yeah.
And so the defense only has one thing to respond to. Right. They watch film, they get prepared, and you base your game plan, you base how your instincts, how you play, how you attack the blocker, which shoulder I'm attacking on the blocker, how I'm ripping his arms. Like, what am I doing Where are my eyes in the backfield as I'm attacking the shoulder of an offensive lineman? What am I reading? And when you're predictable, and you can be predictable if you got some badass dudes blocking, right?
Yeah.
We did it when we played. Teams do it all the time. Like, we're running it. I know we're running it. Let's see who can win. But we just didn't win those. So that was easy. So as LSU fans, we got to hope that the creativity gets a little bit better. But of course, we got to hope that. And I'm not trying to knock anybody, because our offensive line last year was amazing at pass blocking, and that's what they were there for. Like, if you're an offensive coordinator or a head coach and you say these guys are incredible at pass blocking, but maybe not the best run blocking unit that we've ever had, that's a sacrifice you make for that pass blocking, especially with a quarterback and receiving core like we had last year. So,
one of the things that as a running back, I can't imagine what it would be like. Okay, so you're running all these things out of shotgun, right? And that's what's in vogue. That's what everybody does. Nobody gets under center anymore. I get that. I understand it. But also, like, when you're running inside zone as much as you did a year ago with no threat of your quarterback pulling that zone, you take away something that makes that play a good play. Now, when you had Caden, they did a really nice job. You could run inside zone. Even if he didn't pull it, you were terrified that number 5 was going to pull it. Well, that's not who Garrett Nussmeier is, and that is okay. But when you run that play over and over again with no threat, well, you don't have to worry about it. You got one thing you hone in on.
Yep.
It is the running back. Because if I'm a backside guy, and calling the games last year, I started pointing it out time and time again, that backside end that you leave unblocked, who has to be responsible for the quarterback, by about game 6, he said, oh, the hell with this. I'm just going to go like a bat out of hell towards the running back.
Sure.
Because Nussmeier's not going to pull it. And I think Nuss did maybe 3 times total last year. And so, like, that's another portion that's going to go against your running game. And then as a running back, when you're running zone out of gun, you're turning your shoulders to the sideline, which in football you're never supposed to do, to get the handoff. So your eyes are off of the defensive line, reading your keys. And then once you turn back, one, your momentum's been going sideways when their momentum's been going north and south. Then you got to turn your shoulders. You're kind of stopped basically at this point. Then you got to refine wherever your key was. Like when we were playing and we were in I formation, or if we were in ace formation, for me, I'm at running back. I'm at 7.5 yards. I am open step, crossover, and I'm trusting Matt to get me the football. That's his responsibility. I'm not even looking at Matt. I'm looking at the 3 technique or whatever my read might be on that play. And so when Matt gives me the football, I'm downhill full speed. And I'm ready to make my cut, inside, outside, straight, like whatever it might be. So that's a portion of it too. If you're going to be in gun, get into some pistol looks.
Yeah, I would hope that if we're going to stay in gun, which nothing would ever tell me that it's not going to, like 99% of the snaps going to be in gun, because that's just college football right now, and it drives me crazy. But that we would go to more pistol looks. It allows you to get in more. Well, like you said, it allows the running back to have better vision, better momentum, and run more basic running plays, old school, like normal football plays. But like to your point on the Garrett, so I hear that all the time from people around town. I hear it in the chat. Like, Nuss has to pull the ball at least once a game. Has to, because it'll. I don't agree with that, and this is why I don't agree with it, because just don't run the play. Don't run a zone read where you're unblocking. With Garrett's he's not a runner. That's not what he does. Right. We're not going to threaten it. I know we want to pull it, like just pull it to create the threat. If you're a defensive coordinator and Garrett Nussmeier pulls it one time and makes 7 yards, I'm still telling that defensive end, go attack the running back. Because Garrett Nussmeier is not going to beat our team with his legs.
Right.
Just don't run the play. Did Tom Brady run zone read? Did Drew Brees run zone read? No, they didn't. No. Just get creative. Do normal running plays out of gun. Don't put that play. Like, I know, I get it. I saw the same thing everybody else did. Oh, my God, that was a pull read, blah, blah, blah. Why didn't he pull it? He's got to. Yeah, but when you think about it, just there are plenty of more plays out there, running plays, to call than a zone read. It's not what he does. It's not what this offense should be. There's plenty of other ways to get to it. And I wish that more colleges would kind of adopt. So the NFL is going back to a lot more under center. The best offenses in the NFL. So in the world, Niners, Packers, Chiefs, Bills, they are all implementing way
Chargers,
more underneath the center. Chargers as well. They're doing it too.
Yeah.
So a lot of gun, but when you think of like, oh, it's Josh Allen or whatever, Patrick Mahomes, they got to be in gun as much as college kids are.
Yeah.
No, they're getting under center a ton. Why? Because it creates the threat. It creates the threat of run. When a quarterback can turn his back to the line of scrimmage, it hides the ball for a split second.
Yeah.
What does that do to the defense?
Freezes.
It creates doubt.
Yeah.
Who's got the ball? Where is it? Who's he going to give it to? It creates doubt. I love gun. Don't get me wrong. And I think I wanted to be in gun more. But you have to be under center some.
Yep.
Or I wish they do. I'm not going to say half because college football is a different game. But I'm just going to tell you the best offenses in the world are implementing it more and more and more.